Jayson Tatum is not having the greatest shooting series. He's shooting 30% from the field, 32% to be exact, and he's shooting 29% from three. He's averaging 17, 10, and I think 9. So he's having a good overall game. But I will say this: he's not close to looking like a Finals MVP, and he didn't have a ECF MVP. So what does this say about Jayson Tatum? Even if he does win a championship, is this changing how you looking at him?
Um, Not really. I don't. I mean, yeah, I guess it will just solidify what I think that he's not on the same level as Luca. He's not on the same level as Giannis. He's not on the same level as Jokic. He's not on those guys' tiers. He's not in that tier, and that's okay. He still can be a very good player. He's doing a lot of things, right in this series. Um, Call me crazy, but the stat line he putting up is very Josh Hart versus the Pacers.
I was just arguing with Ray because I said I'm just gonna keep it a book. This has been the worst number one option finals run that I've ever seen in my life. For it, let's just say the Celtics win in 5 or 6 games, they win a championship, and Tatum just never explodes. He stays kind of even keeled with his performances. This doesn't it really does nothing for him. It's like, yeah, you got a chip, but it don't do nothing for him in terms
I ain't gonna
of
say that.
how we look at him as an individual player. Team success is team success. But if you go like, man, Jayson Tatum is this, Jayson Tatum is that, it don't do nothing for him in that aspect because this is boy, what? This has been the most least impressive run for a guy that's trying to break into that top 5. That's what I'm gonna say.
And let me preface this. When I said he putting up Josh Hart like numbers, he's doing that on steroids, obviously.
No,
But
don't back off your point. He's playing like a superstar role player. Like, let's
I'm
just
not
keep it a buck, bro. I get it. His team is winning. But Ray just sat up here and said the leaders for Finals MVP on the Celtics right now is Jaylen Brown and Drew Holiday. We've been arguing on this podcast for years about how Drew Holiday is bad in the playoffs, and he's over Jayson Tatum for Finals MVP right now. 2 game sample size. I'm just saying, bro. Like, I get the Celtics are winning, but we can't overlook just Tatum is not even looking like, bro. At this point, he's the 4th best player on his team. That's what it's looking like.
the fourth. I'm not
In
saying
terms of
fourth.
getting the Finals MVP, yeah, third or
Mm,
fourth, third, fourth, third or
he's
fourth.
about third. He's about third in my opinion right now. I just think um, Jason Tatum plays. He's been playing great on defense. I mean, well, I ain't even gonna say that because Loki, that man was getting hunted by Luca this last game, and he couldn't stop Luca 1-on-1. So I can't even give Tatum that he's like he's not a Kawhi level, wing stopper, nothing like that. He's plays very solid team defense, um, in that regard. So, uh, I mean, Tatum is he's a great player, superstar role player. At times, he can break out and be your number one superstar, but he hasn't done that in this series, and maybe he's just having a bad series. But it does matter that he's not
Had a
doing it.
bad playoff run. First round, we like, oh man, he not looking good. Second round, we like, oh man, he's all right. Conference finals, we like, oh, he's playing a little bit better, but Jaylen Brown was better. And now in the finals, it's 2 or 3 guys that we done seen play better than him. Like, at what point are we gonna be like, say, man, I don't know, Tatum. Like, why we can't do that? Just because they winning, we can't be critical. Just because they winning, we can't be critical. That's my problem. I guess
No,
winning cures all.
we can be critical. Like I'm
Ray
not.
can't. Oh man, he's leading rebounding, assist. What is we doing here?
I mean that does matter. I mean he's doing things. He's an impact winning. Maybe just not at the level as other players, and that's okay. Um,
I've never seen nobody baby a super duper star on a crazy team, shooting 30% from the field and 20% from the three.
I've
And he's
always,
been the third guy on his team, playing like you
yeah,
said, a superstar role player. We've never done this. As a guy
I,
that we said, if Tatum can win a chip, if Tatum get a Finals MVP, he's going to be right here. This is the worst case scenario for Tatum if he wins the championship. How this run is going? Is y'all not serious? Are y'all serious? This is the
I've
worst case scenario for him, even if he wins.
look Tatum. Tatum is still going to be looked at. And like this is what I said about Tatum. I said he is not on the level of some of these other guys
Mhm.
in the NBA because had they had the surrounding cast that he's had, they'd have already won a finals by now. Last year, if you throw Luka on that team in place of Tatum, they have a ring. They don't lose to Miami in 7. They don't go down 0-3. If you put anybody, if you put Shea, you put other guys on that team, they would have had a ring within Tatum's career already. Tatum has had his chance to do that, and yet now he's at the. I said if he doesn't win this one, it's gonna look really bad.
I'm saying the way he's been playing this playoffs, even if he win this one, from my personal perspective, it does nothing for how I rank Tatum individually. And that in itself is disgusting. Like you winning a championship and you still can't move the needle on a personal level is all I'm saying. He's
So,
gonna go ahead.
so you saying when we do off-season rankings and stuff like that, we rate individual talent players. You're not moving Tatum up if even if they win the ring.
How can I? Come on, and this the thing that
He
Ray just he
still
had a
has a
lot to
good
say off
shot.
camera. He had a lot to say when we wasn't live, but what he can't say. How can I move him up? That's what I'm saying. And for the fact
He's
that you won a championship, you don't get ECF, don't look like you're gonna get Finals MVP. This is worst case scenario for a winner. This is ugly. Leave it to Jason Tatum to win in this ugly fashion. That's all I'm saying.
he still has a chance to win Finals MVP. He's not just out of the running altogether. Now there's still 2 more games. He has a couple good games. Then he's probably gonna win.
He's just not as good as Jaylen Brown, bro. He's just not as good. He's just not as good.
We haven't been saying that.
But I'm saying, okay, we kind of all conceded that Jason Tatum was the best Celtic. We conceded that like over the last couple years. We'd have seen what he did against Philly. We'd have seen what he did against Milwaukee. And he has great moments at times. But I've been saying this. I don't think he's a number one scoring guy. I think he's a great overall player. But at some point, with the way Jaylen Brown has been playing from this whole playoff run, this whole season as a two-way player, if he wins conference finals MVP, then he wins finals MVP. Is it not gonna be a conversation that Jaylen Brown the best player on this team? Like, are we just gonna keep overlooking this, or is Tatum, regardless of anything that happens, as long as they win, just Tatum, Tatum, Tatum?
A lot of people are still gonna say Tatum.
And it's mind boggling. If Jaylen Brown wins conference finals MVP and then finals MVP, how in the hell are you people go say Jason Tatum is still better than him? I don't get it at this point, Chris. I
They will
don't get it.
they will say it because Jason Tatum does everything else. He does everything, and he has the ability to give you more. So he rebounds, he play makes. They're making excuses. Oh, the Mavericks are doubling Tatum so much that he has to drive in the lane. He has no choice but to kick.
Bro, Tatum can really get anything he want. He just been blowing layups. He been blowing layups. He been missing open threes. It's not, bro. The Mavericks defense ain't just super staunch on Tatum like that. He's getting in the paint every time he get the ball. Every time he touches the ball, he get anywhere he want to go. He's missing the stuff that Jaylen Brown is finishing. Like when Jaylen Brown got around Luka and then dunked and Cleveland didn't even want to jump. Like that just Tatum is getting past people and he's just not finishing the layups. He's not finishing them. So I don't know.
Hey,
Act like the Mavericks are just selling out on Tatum. Stop it.
No, I don't agree with that either. I don't think the Mavericks even need to do that to Tatum in order to win. Like I said last time, if you leave Tatum in single coverage and he takes about 25, 30 shots and he beats you, great. I just don't see it happening. Or I see him maybe getting one more game, and that's all the Mavericks can afford to do. I don't see Tatum getting multiple games by himself.
Bro, I was listening to a podcast. They had Rajah Bell on. Rajah Bell said, man, they asked him who would he rather guard, Luka or Kyrie. He said Luka just because he like, I can't do nothing with Luka, but Kyrie just too shifty. Then they asked him Jaylen Brown or Jayson Tatum, who would he rather guard? He said Jayson Tatum because I think I can make him settle. And it's getting to the point where it's like, why can't we elevate Jaylen Brown to being the best player on the Celtics if he's playing like the best player, and then he's gonna have the stats and accolades to back it up? That's all I'm saying. Like Ray, he been very real quiet, but it's all good.
Tatum is the Celtics' golden boy protected child. You can't say nothing bad about Tatum.
It's disgusting.
He can shoot as bad as he wants, but as long as he's out there running around throwing balls to people and grabbing rebounds, and he's the best. He's the best thing since sliced bread.
If Jaylen Brown get Finals MVP, I don't want to hear nothing about Tatum being the best player on the Celtics. That's what I'm gonna say. Right. I promise I don't want to hear it.
Tatum is so mature. He's just willing to step down and let his teammates do everything. He's so mature. He could take over the game and win it himself, but Tatum decides to just play a role.
Found some shit I love to do, so I can live comfortable. Searching for a peace of mind, need that when it's time to rhyme. Perfect in every line, any chance I get, and I know it takes time, but I will never quit.